affairs, but I really wanted to make sure we had this call um, to give the hoteliers at least an understanding of where we are. I've gotten so many questions in the last 2.5 weeks with the expansion about kind of what's going on, but I also thought it was extremely important um, to introduce you to our team because I think a lot of people, unfortunately like to say, so everyone doesn't know me, Scott Dolch, President and CEO of the now Connecticut Restaurant and Hospitality Association. I think my goal today was really to introduce faces. I know it's virtual, but to introduce faces to our team. Because I think a lot of people lose sight and they're like, oh, Scott, you're doing this and that. Like, I appreciate people's thoughts on that, but understand that I have an amazing team behind me that really probably carries almost all of the water. And I think the bigger thing for today is to make sure you guys understand what the CRHA is as a trade association, as a C6. Also, we have a C3, so we'll get into that a little bit as well. But the goal of today is really, to open this up and allow my team to give a 2 or 3 minute introductions to themselves, kind of what they work on, and how that's going to benefit you. So I'm going to go to slides. So hold on, I'm going to share my screen here. Um, I will take this out. I'll condense, bring this up. Everybody see my screen? Katie, can you see my screen? It's the only one I see. Perfect. Okay. All right. So this is just a virtual meet and greet this morning for everybody. And realistically, I think, our job and our goal, so I'll get into in a second kind of what the purpose of the event is. So we're going to talk about the expansion. I'm going to introduce you to our team. I'm going to talk a little bit about legislative priorities because we are in the middle of a short session. I'm also, as I mentioned before, I'm going down to DC for public affairs and meeting with our delegates down there this week. I'll talk a little bit about membership at the end and then open up to questions. So that's going to be kind of the quick run through of the webinar. I appreciate, and I'll get into, so the next kind of part is me before I turn it over to the team. So for those that know, we expanded. So the Connecticut Restaurant Association has been around for, I believe, almost a little over 60 years in the state of Connecticut, representing, restaurants, caterers, private event venues. I took over myself just almost 8 years ago. It'll be 8 years in about a month, this role. And we've had a great rise and a great growth. When I started, I was a staff of really one and a part-time person. So you're going to get a chance to meet some staff members today and really to show the growth. We also have gone from about 370 members to a little more than 2,100 in 7.5 years. Also, our strength is in our voice. Our strength is in our members. We are a membership-driven based organization that is advocating, that is a resource for you, and making sure that we are also promoting the industry in any way and opportunity that we have. Also, I've been thinking about expansion, so you guys know this is not a new concept of bringing restaurants and hotels together. That we became the 31st state to do it out of 52 associations because you have DC and Puerto Rico and other states. I have many peers over the years that have helped me in my role that run Michigan and Florida and Washington and Oregon, that are Pennsylvania, that are combined states, Rhode Island, that have helped me kind of grow the CRA initially, but obviously always thinking about what an expansion could look like and why, it's important if we want to take that next step. And for me, it's always about growth. It's always about expanding who we are, and making sure we're representing, really the big word here is hospitality, and why we put that in there. It's Connecticut Restaurant Now Hospitality Association, because realistically, everyone on this call, if restaurant operators, the more that I continue to look at this expansion, and it started probably more like 4 or 5 years ago, pre-COVID, 6 years ago. But COVID obviously stopped that even idea. And then coming out of COVID, it became to ramp up again, and many opportunities to kind of bring the two industries together. This is kind of where we've landed now, and to understand all of that kind of that time and thought process is really, we didn't just stand around and go, hey, we're adding hotels, great, like that's all we're doing. It was more about bringing the operators in. We had many meetings. Some of you guys were a part of those, to kind of listen to the hotel operators, hear their challenges, Also bring restaurant operators and hotel operators together, because I think the more we've done events, the more they've each learned from each other that very similar, very much alike. You all have a food element, mostly within your business, and you deal with that, but you also have so many other things going on. But I think that as operators, you guys are very similar to our restaurateurs, and I think vice versa. And that has been really fun for us to kind of learn that process, but also to make sure we're representing the bigger picture of what we're doing. So we made a public announcement, but let's backtrack a second. Back in December, or actually, I'll backtrack a little bit more. I know a lot of questions have been asked about other associations. Did we combine? Are there groups that now are part of you? We did not combine with any other association. We did have conversations with multiple, but realistically, where we landed after about 2.5 years of looking at this hard, was, it unfortunately didn't work out with other associations, but for us, the hotels continue to come back to me and my board and say, hey, we want to be better represented. Hey, we see what your value is. Is there a way for us to be a part of it? So we took that kind of step back in September, October last year. We opened it up. Many of you guys saw those emails where we asked for leadership, because I think that was the first part, is to put leaders on our board that represent this industry and represent the hotels, the inns, the bed and breakfasts. And in December, right before our crazies, we expanded our board from 25 to 35. We now have 7 hotel operators on our board, looking maybe to expand even more later on this year. But we already had 2 with Jason Guyot at Foxwoods and Stephen Tagliatella at Saybrook Resort. But we also were able to add Amanda Arling at the Whalers Inn, Dan Webster at Mohegan, Henry Tessman at Great Wolf Lodge, Wayne McClellan at the Omni New Haven, and oh no, who am I missing about? Omni, Saybrook,
Distinctive.
Whalers. Did I get everybody? Whalers, Dan,
Distinctive.
Distinctive. Thank you. Lou Carrier. Thank you, Liz. Lou Carrier and the team at Distinctive Hospitality Group. So that added to our board in December, but then we made a public announcement 2.5 weeks ago, um, to the media, to our legislators, about what the CRHA is now. And then, obviously we're going to talk about membership at the end. But this is more about this isn't a membership pitch today. This is about learning who we are and what we want to be, and then see if there's value for you and your properties, value for you as an operator, moving forward. So we are excited about the announcement. We got a lot of great press around it. I've had great conversations. Obviously, the governor attended, and many of the legislators have called me directly about what this means. So um, I just wanted to kind of give you guys that sense of what happened. And now I'm going to really just turn this over to the team, because I'm going to come back at the end and talk a little bit more, but you can feel free to put questions in the chat. But like I said before, the team is really what is working. And for all of you today, it's great to say, hey, we're the CRHA, but we're not going to be as strong without hotel involvement and voices. Obviously, we have 7 total voices now as hotel operators on our board, but we need more voices. We're going to talk about committees down the road. We want to get more hotel operators involved in our organization. Many of you already are, because you have restaurants that have maybe been members for a long time, but now bring in the hotels. And the last thing I'll say before I turn this over to the team is, I think a lot of people sometimes think that I come from the restaurant industry. I'm a restaurant operator. Never been one. I worked for a Little Caesar franchisee for about 6 weeks, before I moved on to my path early on in my career to work in college athletics and professional sports for about 14 years. And then I fell into this job 7.5, almost 8 years ago. I will never tell a restaurant operator I know what they're going through. My job is to learn from them. I learn something new every day. And the same is going to hold true for the hotels. I'll never possibly be a hotel operator, but my goal is to learn. And I think a lot of this feedback today, as you guys see these slides and meet our team, is we built the CRA with the feedback and responses from our members. I think the same is going to hold true for the hotels. Meaning, what resources do you need? Who should we go out and help you with? What information is critical on a communication side? Like, what are things that you guys want in real time, the same way that the restaurants ask us for, whether it's the star report or other things that maybe you're already getting, but are there things that we can go and find that give you the resources to be efficient, hopefully profitable within your business? And then also the legislative side, advocacy is a part of us, but it's not everything that we do. We're not just an advocacy organization. We are at its core, we are a resource. Every single one of you as a, potentially as a member should look to us for any question that might come up every single day, that our team is here to answer your questions or find you answers to those questions to help you run your business. So I'll stop there. Um, I will turn this over to Yvette, our first person today, our Vice President of Sales and Operations. Yvette can introduce herself a little bit and just talk a little bit. There's probably could have been 30 slides for Yvette, but just did one today. But let her kind of tell us more about her role at the CRHA.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself when we looked at creating this presentation deck this morning, it easily could be a 3-hour webinar because there's so much that we do. But what you're gonna see today is gonna be a lot, but it's just a small slice of what we do and what our team does. So just a little background on me. I've been with the CRHA for 7.5 years. So I was Scott's first hire when he took over almost 8 years ago. My first role was as membership director. So as you heard Scott throw out some numbers, at that time we had just under 400 members, and now we have over 2,000. So for me, being part of that growth has been so cool. I think, you hear about strength in numbers, and people say that and it becomes sort of cliche, but to be able to see that in action and to see how when we had 400 members, what we were able to do, and now our reach, our influence, our voice, our strength at the Capitol, our team, our ability to provide resources and support and training and information, all of that has grown as our member base has grown. So it's been cool to be part of that. And now, Scott also mentioned 60 years. This year, 65 years. We were established in 1961. And so now to be part of this next stage in our growth and expansion into broader hospitality is super cool. So my role with the CRHA is essentially head of operations on both the association side and on our foundation side. We do have a 501c3 educational foundation. Shannon will talk about that a little bit later. But I work together with the team that you're going to meet today to implement all the programming that you're going to see. And generally, I just manage the operations of the association and work closely with Scott on implementing his vision. On the screen there, you see our partnerships. I am head of our partnerships. I manage our partners and our sponsor relationships. And so what you're looking at there is our prime partners and Advantage members. Advantage, and Liz will talk about our allied membership program. You'll see our full vendor directory. We have over 100 vendors that are members. But the Advantage members are those partners who invest $2,500 or more a year with us, and our prime partners invest $10,000 or more per year with us. And so I sort of manage these relationships and support our partners and our sponsors. They serve not only helping us to fund our mission, they also serve as a resource to our members, to us when we have questions. This is sort of our first point of contact. And you see here from liquor distributors, food distributors, payroll, POS. We have several accounting firms and CPAs, et cetera, et cetera. So these are our top most active, engaged members that support us throughout the year. You see the CRA member exclusive savings. That I kind of laughed when I saw Scott had put that there, because Katie and Liz really make that happen. And you'll see today as a team, we work very closely together. We're a small team, but we accomplish a lot. People usually think we're a much bigger team. We work very closely together across the different aspects of the association. But the exclusive savings that you see there, that's a really cool digital flip book that we offer, where these members, both the ones that you see on the screen here, plus some of our other vendors, that offer an exclusive savings or some special to our members, that flip book allows you as a member to go through and see what discounts and savings are available to you, along with the contact information from those partners. So that's really kind of in a nutshell my role at the CRA. I'm just so appreciative that all of you could be here. I know I've met many of you, and when I see, kind of some faces here, I always say I'm the staycation queen. I love to stay in hotels in Connecticut, even sometimes, Delamar and West Hartford I stayed at, that's 10 minutes from my house. Like I love staying. I love the whole experience of hotels and hospitality. So I hope to meet each of you and hopefully stay at your property sometime soon. So with that, I think, Scott, if you can go on to the next screen, I think we're going to go on to learn a little bit about membership events and comms.
Great. Liz?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name is Liz. I am the Membership and Events Manager for the CRHA. I've been in this role since 2022, and before this, I actually came from the restaurant industry. I worked in the front of house of restaurants for my whole professional career. So it's been a joy to be able to support this industry from a different perspective now. So in my role as Membership Manager, essentially, I live in the back end of our website, which controls all of our membership data, access to benefits, partnerships, and allied membership relationships. So you can see here, this is a shot of our member compass. It's basically what our members see when they log into our website. You have easy access to resources such as our Advocacy in Action blog that has all of our policy updates to keep our members informed. You'll also see our association updates. The board of directors meetings are in there specifically for our board, so regular members won't see that, but you'll see all the resources and opportunities available through our foundation and our industry job board, which gets posts all of the time. So with membership, I mean, we offer a plethora of resources and savings for our tools, but some of the most important ones are our legal counsel. We have support from our legal partners that help out with our members every day with policy questions, things like that. We offer healthcare savings, certification on food safety, basically anything you need for your everyday operations. These are resources and benefits we offer. And another huge benefit to membership is that you have a person on the other end of the phone. Anytime you have a question that comes up or an email comes in, it's me. I'm a person here to help you. It's my pleasure to help you. I basically see my role in membership as a guest experience. And I want to make sure that you as our guests, as our members, feel supported. We also see some slides from our vendor directory. In addition to our regular memberships, we have our allied memberships, which are services, businesses who support the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry, want to build meaningful relationships with you and show you how they support you. So our allied members are great members with us as well, who really support our hospitality members. With that, we can go to the next slide. And this is just a snapshot of some of our events. Events are where we really shine. It's a great goal of ours to bring our industry together. As Yvette spoke about power in numbers before, we love to build meaningful relationships between operators who, lift each other up, help each other out when there are similar challenges that are happening. So our events are where we really shine. Some of my roles with events, I work closely with our host sites to, consider all the logistics involved, to make sure that our sponsors feel value in the connections and their ROI, make sure that our guests just have an incredible experience and really, really demonstrate the power of our industry when we all stand together, because in the end, it's about, cooperation instead of, in collaboration. So those are just a couple things about me and my role at the CRHA, and I'm so excited to continue this journey and grow and learn more about you and your businesses.
Thank you, Liz. And just to kind of chime in with Liz and some of the photos here, we have 2 flagship events that we do every year. Obviously, in the middle there is our golf tournament. Our dinner we'll do on June 22nd, but you'll get all this information at Lyman Orchards, where we have over 230 to 240 golfers, another probably 80 to 100 for this dinner. We don't, food as hospitality, restaurant hospitality has to be our star with the event. So we actually typically bring in 4 or 5 chefs from around the state to work with our ProStart students, which you'll learn about in a second, to cook the meal for everybody there. The top left is a picture of which will be CRHA Night at the Capitol. We go to the state capitol every year. We had last year about 45 restaurants. Going to hopefully have some hotels there as well. We're, the last week of session where we have our industry there, really meeting with our state legislature and talking to them, talking to your district house and senator, making sure that in the last week of session, no bad piece of legislation crosses the finish line. And the same, hopefully, if we're trying to get something done as well. Top right was our advocacy fundraiser dinner. Bottom left was one of our big events, the CRHA Women in Hospitality event last year in our offices. This is one of the spaces we have outside of our offices where we had 4 women leaders speaking to the group, which was awesome. And then obviously the bottom right, if you don't know, that's just a photo of the Crazies. That's a wide shot. That room was completely filled, 1,550 people, seated dinner, which is our Oscars in a sense of the industry. And we are looking forward to bringing hotels into this next year and adding some awards and some elevation to the hotel industry within the Crazies. So thank you, Liz. I will turn this now over to Katie to talk a little bit about her role.
Yeah, hi everybody, Katie Gerber. I'm the Communications and Engagement Manager. I've been with the association for around 3 years now. My role is all about keeping you informed about what's going on across the association, the foundation, what's going on at the Capitol throughout session, and across the state and any federal updates as well. So the way that I do that is mostly through emails and social media and our website. Scott's put up some screenshots here of our member exclusive emails. If you're already on our list, you'll see that you get a weekly update from us every Monday. That covers sort of general information, latest news, upcoming events. As a member, you unlock more. These are member exclusive emails. We have here the advocacy in action, which is more frequent, of course, throughout session. That includes local, state, and federal updates. You can see there as well our legislative tracker. We keep that up to date every week too, and that's just sort of a one-stop shop for what we're advocating for and how you can get involved in that. I've also got benefit bites, which isn't pictured here. That will include, the benefits, resources, and savings available to you as a member. Member update, does what it says on the tin, keeps you updated with events, benefits, and resources. And in the news is our bi-weekly curated content that includes industry news, reports, analysis, and the goal of all of these emails is to kind of cut through the noise. I know there's a lot of newsletters out there, but I work really hard to give the information that you need at your fingertips. Also, I'm in charge of social media. You'll see here there's some screenshots from some of the exciting things that we've done over the past few months, partners that we've worked with. The idea is obviously to promote the industry and all the exciting things that are happening across Connecticut. We work with partners like CT Visit. We've got the dinner from Joya that raised some money for our foundation. Obviously the pizza trail. Bottom right is some awards that Jamie from Bears and Kim Morrison from Beans & Co won through National. Just lots of exciting things going on. And like I say, we work with news outlets and state partners and PR firms to promote our industry. So I'm in charge of the association account, the Crazies account, which is of course our awards, and support the foundation's account too. And the goal there, once again, is to keep you informed, share events, opportunities, member stories, and things like that. I suppose the other branch that I am in charge of is our website. There's lots of resources available on there. It's a fairly new website to us. We moved over to a new domain last year. We've been working really hard to update that content. I work every week to add new resources, new posts, new pages, building up the pool of resources that are available. We have the latest news tab, which is a kind of one-stop shop for industry news. And once again, our members unlock access to more content, more information. We're really proud of our website, and we'll continue to improve it and add more resources, and of course work with you guys on what is useful to you. And we get good feedback from our restaurant members, and we're always listening on how we can change and improve. Coming up for comms is we're launching a new texting tool. This will allow us to kind of give you more updates throughout session. There's going to be no spam, and we're not going to be texting you all the time, just when we need you to take action for advocacy reasons, and if there's any important events we feel that you'd like to attend throughout session. So yeah, I've been working with my peers in other states who have hotels as part of their association already to kind of figure out, engage what resources and information they're currently offering their hotel members. But as Scott mentioned, this is an evolving process. So I would love to hear from you how we can help you, how we can save you time, what resources will be available. Our email addresses are at the end if you would like to reach out, or if you want to just DM us on social or whatever. That's normally me at the end of the DMs there. But yeah, that's about it for communications for now.
Thank you, Katie. Great job. I know you were a nervous wreck to get through this as she is to present to everybody today. But as you guys can see, obviously the whole team, but just staying on top and making sure that our job obviously is communication is one of our big keys. We learned that in COVID that, we might have the information, we have to get it out to you, but we don't want to spam your inboxes. We want to make sure what we're sending you is relevant. And Katie does a phenomenal job with the cadence and making sure, the timely information is in there for you and what's, but we're going to continue to learn this as we go. And then the other big thing that, since I took over the association is promoting hospitality. Obviously you see in these photos here, but what we do is, I don't like the fact that when I started, people said the culinary industry in Connecticut doesn't really exist. It's New York and Boston. And I think the same is now going to be true for the hotels, is making sure we're telling your story. That's the other thing that we do through social that Katie does a phenomenal job of, is making sure that, we try to get out to see all of our members as much as we can. When events are happening or ribbon cuttings or you're opening new properties or you're renovating properties, we're telling that story to the public. We're telling it to legislators. We're telling it to the media, and even other members. But, saying how great, our kind of restaurant and hotel industry in the state. And that's what I'm so excited about as we move forward, as I know many of you on this call and others that'll listen to this, that's really where I think the opportunity for us to do probably the most impact right away is to really make a huge impact on all the hotels. As you guys have seen some of my interviews already, to say, hey, we have less than 400, we have 396 properties in the state, and our job is to really enhance them and tell their story. So thank you, Katie. All right, turning it over to the foundation, and Shannon to talk a little bit about that, and also industry in the kind of the training. So hi, Shannon.
Thanks, Scott. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Murphy. I'm the Workforce Development Coordinator with the Connecticut Restaurant and Hospitality Association, as well as the Connecticut Hospitality Educational Foundation, which is our 501c3 nonprofit. You'll meet Lexi and Sophia here in a second, but I actually started as the Yukon intern for last school year, where I was able to grow here professionally while obtaining my master's. I've officially been a full-time staff for almost a year now, but I've been with the CRHA for almost 2 years now, so I've been able to see it grow alongside me, which is kind of cool. But my role mainly focuses on building and supporting workforce development programs that help bring new talent into the restaurant and hospitality industry as a whole. A big part of what I manage is the ProStart curriculum, the ProStart program, which if you've last week was our 20th annual competition, which we put on at Mohegan Sun, and it was a great success. It's a 2-year high school culinary and restaurant management program. Introduces students to careers in the industry and includes classroom curriculum, competitions, connections with industry professionals, mentorships. And it was just last week, and it was a huge success. The kids have 1 hour, give or take, with preparation time to make a 3-course meal, which includes a starter, an entree, and a dessert over 2 butane burners with no running water, no electricity. And it's crazy to see. I'm sure if you went on our socials, Katie's been posting a lot about it. The dishes these kids make are incredible. And it's just a great opportunity for them. And then on that, we are also skipping down a little bit. We're also currently exploring implementing programs like the AHLEI, the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute, to expand training opportunities onto the lodging side of hospitality as well. Um, I have also recently begun to assist in coordinating Restaurant Ready, which provides short-term job readiness training for people looking to enter the hospitality workforce. And on that, another program that I help implement is the Hopes grant that I think we received about a year ago now. It focuses on creating opportunities in hospitality, not just restaurants, for individuals who are re-entering the workforce. Our current focus for this grant is the Bridgeport area and creating opportunities for those re-entering down in that part of the state. And I have to give Yvette a lot of credit because she recently took over most of that, which has been a huge help in supporting the foundation. Um, and another part of my position is administering scholarships for students pursuing culinary arts or anything hospitality related after high school. We offer local scholarships as well as scholarships through our national organization, NRAEF, or the National Restaurant Educational Foundation, but we're looking to implement that on the lodging side of things as well. And then if we want to go to the next slide, I can talk about my role with ServeSafe. Additionally, I help oversee our ServeSafe programming, which includes ServeSafe alcohol, manager, allergen, sexual harassment, which supports food safety and overall regular safety certifications and training across the industry. As an association through our website, we offer ServeSafe certifications both online and in person with our two instructors, Nikki and Dennis, who are great. I handle pretty much all of the background and dispersion of ServeSafe materials from our association. Happy to answer any questions for you guys on ServeSafe later on. And then overall, my role really is just about helping connect students, job seekers, and industry partners to strengthen the future of the industry in Connecticut.
Thank you, Shannon. And then last, but certainly definitely not least, as Shannon mentioned before, she came through this program, but we were fortunate a couple of years. Now I think we're going to go into year 5, maybe 4 or 5, working with the University of Connecticut and their public policy program. I'm going to turn it over so they can introduce themselves to Sophia and Lexi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sofia Andrade, and I am the Legislative and Event Management intern at the CRHA. And I'm also a graduate student at the School of Public Policy, so I'm working towards my master's in public administration. And I just am so grateful of the opportunity to work alongside this great uh, association. And I also think that the partnership with UConn is really valuable because it creates these opportunities for students to get these hands-on experience in the industry. And I really appreciate going with this new collaboration with the hospitality and hotels and being able to learn from everyone on our team. So I'm looking forward to helping out in any way I can. And thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. I am the other UConn intern. My name is Lexi Beauchamp, and this year I've been working with both the CRHA and our foundation, and it's been a really great way to get to know the state since I'm still relatively new through our restaurant and hospitality industry. I was drawn to this internship through UConn because both of my parents worked in the restaurant and hotel industry for most of my life. So I always had a great appreciation for all the work that you all do. And then during my time here, I've gotten the chance to support a variety of projects, including Pro Start Week with Shannon, supporting our workforce development efforts, donor relationship building, and it's been great to see the association expand its work beyond restaurants to include hotels and help broaden our hospitality community. I've overall just been so appreciative of this relationship that UConn has with our growing industry, and it's been great to work with the team. So thank you.
Thanks, Sophia and Lexi. Thank you to the team. So I'll go into this in a second, but I think, the whole purpose of the first chunk of this was for you guys to really see how incredible the team that we have here, the CRHA, the work that they do, As you can see, it's not, we'll get into advocacy in a second, but a lot of people are like, oh, you guys just advocate. And realistically, we do. And there's a lot that we have to deal with on the legislative side. But we're so much more than that. And we hope that as you take this in today, you get a chance to see what I've been so excited about of running this association for almost 8 years is the opportunity to grow the team. Like I said at the beginning, we were a staff of one and I was in a part-time person. Now we have 5 full-time, 2 interns, the opportunity to see everybody grow within their role, and make such a bigger impact on the industry. And that's what I'm most proud of. And obviously that's the other side of this as well, is we hope to continue to grow. For me personally, I'm not someone that likes to be in a role and just be stagnant. I want to see opportunities for growth, opportunities for us to build off of our own team that we have, and make a larger impact. So thank you to the team. Obviously, I'm going to get to emails at the end, but if you have questions or follow up with any of them, if you haven't met them, hopefully we'll do more of an event in person so you can meet everybody in person. I know today was more of a virtual way to do this, but I also think it's great that if you can come to some of our events and meet our team and meet our staff, there's so much value add in that as well. All right, talk a little bit about advocacy, and then I want to open up to questions. I don't want to stay on any of these one bills or any of these topics. It's not what this call is about. It is not an advocacy call. But I also think it's extremely important that you guys, I didn't even put other people that are on our team that work with us every day. We have, Nicole Griffin is our contract lobbyist. Brian Duran with Intersect Public Solutions is our PR and media. Obviously, Ryan O'Donnell was mentioned a little bit from the legal counsel side. The 3 of them are kind of like our 3-headed monster, which is a great analogy because they're helping me so much trying to keep a track of all these bills that are happening down up in Hartford in a short session, just to kind of run through there. I'm actually testifying tomorrow remotely. There's a scheduling bill for all the hotels to know it's back again. Yes, for year number 10, but it doesn't affect independent restaurants. But what it does affect is franchises and obviously the hotels. I'm going to be testifying, and obviously in opposition, hoping to see if we can eliminate that bill and not get it passed for the 10th year in a row. 1% tax on tourism funding is a big one as we talk about the budget going from 12 million down to 4.5. From the governor to legislative leaders, there's about 4 or 5 different bills that are out there to take the 1% meals and beverage tax and invest that back into the tourism office. So we'll continue to promote that. No tax on tips and overtime on the state income tax. There's an interchange fee, which is credit card swipe fees that you pay on sales tax, but also occupancy tax. As we grow into this bill, we want to make sure you shouldn't be paying the VIG on the credit cards to collect the 15% occupancy tax as well. There's a union workers retention bill. I know we have now some unions within the hotels to make sure that they're not a part of the bill, but also if they are, our viewpoint in making sure that we are expressing to the Labor and Public Employees Committee that some of these bills that have a negative impact on our businesses. Association healthcare. We need better healthcare options, as you guys know. Testified in person last week on that, working with the insurance and real estate committee, trying to see if we can get that across the finish line. Consumer data privacy, AI regulations, those are fun ones this past week. Making sure that obviously we all want better regulations as we get into these new spaces, but also we don't want it to harm and hinder your job and your role running your small business. We expect a BAC, blood alcohol content. They tried to lower it from 0.08 down to 0.05. Get involved in that. Soda tax, I think, just came out, trying to figure as you see in other states, they're trying to tax on sodas and sweets and sugary products, as well as there was a straw ban that came out from the Environment Committee. Dealing with the lobster sales out of state was another bill right now. As you guys maybe know, if you in your restaurants, if you're purchasing lobster, if you go up to Maine, we actually have a different measurement than anyone else that's buying in other waters. It's about a 1/16 of an inch bigger that we have to buy. That has a huge impact. I've started to learn that on the fishermen and the fisheries in the state, but also impacting restaurants, hotels, and everyone that's looking to purchase lobsters. We don't want to be paying more per pound than somebody else that are going into the same water. So that's a bill this year. We're hoping to see if we can get across. And then, sorry, updated cannabis legislation. That's a little bit on 2-part in the state, on THC and THC derived seltzers, to all those other conversations that we have, as well as down in DC. So that's a legislative update. Many of you I probably already reached out to, like the scheduling bill is Tuesday. If you want to submit testimony, I think Steve Matiotis is on this call. He's testified with me before on this bill. Obviously, my job, the last thing I'll say legislatively is my job is to be the face and talk about the industry as a whole, both restaurants and hotels, and never have, if especially if it's a negative bill, the media or legislators come after you and say, oh, you don't like this bill, it's your business or whatever else. My job is to represent the overarching industry and talk about, ways of positive bills when we want to play offense, but also when we're playing defense. My job is to really take the bullets. And Steve, I think, knows that well. Where, I typically try to hopefully get up and testify ahead of time and know that if it's a negative bill, I'm going to get a lot of the questions, but I'm going to speak on behalf of the industry and not speak on behalf of one business. And I never would want, on a negative side for it to be targeted that way. It's about the industry and benefiting the industry and how some of these bills can hopefully positively impact the industry, but also can negatively impact the industry. Last update I'll give is just on national advocacy. Like you guys maybe know, I'm now a board member of the National Restaurant Association. I have a flight in about an hour and 45 minutes down to DC, where I'll be taking 14 or 15 members will be coming down with me for the week. And we are going to meet with all of our delegates, both our senators. The House is not in session, unfortunately, but we're going to be meeting with leadership within the other 5 congressional delegates that we have to talk about some of these issues, the tariff policies, obviously, the war and how it's affecting the gas prices and diesel and travel and all of our other products that we need and what's happening. We're also talking about the Credit Card Competition Act, which is a little different than the Swipe Fee Act at a state level. This is really infusing more credit card competition. It's Visa and MasterCard, the duopoly. We need to allow for other companies to come in and really, because right now they set the standard and you really have nowhere else to go. There's obviously the biggest one too is comprehensive immigration reform, which we haven't had in 54 years. It's not just this administration or that administration. We need to find better ways to protect, our workforce as a whole. When you combine hospitality, is a little more than a quarter of our workforce are immigrants. So that is extremely important for us, and we'll continue to carry that flag to find solutions. When we talk about immigration reform down there in DC, U.S. Mexico Canada trade agreement that is expiring in November, how that's going to affect tariffs and what hopefully that gets renewed. And then part of the large bill that the President Trump passed, OBBB, part of that was banning hemp-derived products starting on November 1st. So we are, at the table talking about that. Is that going to be pushed out? And what does that mean for our state being recreational marijuana, but THC and what, on premise, all those conversations are happening. So that's obviously my other part of my role, which is why I have this amazing team, because it allows me to kind of represent the state of Connecticut outside the 4 walls of our state, and get down to DC probably 4 or 5 times a year and travel around the country to represent our state any way that I can. So that's a little bit of a legislative update. Last thing I will talk about is membership. Like I said at the very beginning, this isn't a sales pitch, but understand that, we are only as strong as the members that we have. And we have almost close to 2,100 now. But what does that mean for hotel operators? We've got a lot of calls and questions. And I really thank a lot of our board members are on this morning, our new hotel board members. I really thank them because they've had multiple calls with me, some of our team, talking about what a membership should look like with the CRHA, what it looks like in other states, some of them coming from Florida or Nevada or other areas to say, hey, when it's a combined association, we already have restaurants that are members. How does that affect us now with our hotels? I will say that kudos to Liz on our team and Yvette working hard on what this is going to look like, but also know that, how we've looked at it is we've looked at the rates across the country. The last thing we want to do is to come out swinging with high rates to be a member. That's not what we want. We really want to look at, obviously the price per room is something that I think is consistent across the country. And understanding, the size and scope of your hotel. But I would just say we're willing to work with you. But understand that we've looked at it saying, hey, if you're a hotel, I think we've seen rates as high as $14, $15 a room, a little bit lower in the southern part of the country. But even, some of our peers in our state we're looking at $10 a room per room that you have in membership dues. Obviously, but at a low base level of $500. So 50 rooms or less to $500 member for lodging, and then everything above that is per room. But then also, if you have restaurants, we're not going to charge you, for your restaurants the same price as a regular restaurant member. We're looking at for every restaurant that you own and operate on property as $250 additional to the hotel's rooms that you have and representing your hotel property. We obviously are looking on the front end of having a low level cap. That $500 is going to be consistent with our lowest level restaurant members as we look at our new pricing model. But also on the high end, with our casinos, and some of them have large scale hotels, we aren't looking to have them, pay per room. There's going to be a cap, and looking at that cap as well. I think the casinos know that. We've had that conversation, but at the end of the day, this isn't something that was really built by us. This was built by our hotel board members that came to the table and say, hey, what should be the cost of membership? What should be the value that we're providing back? And I would say to all of you guys, we've already updated our site. We are going to go out over the next couple weeks and start talking to each of you about hopefully becoming a member of the CRHA. Not maybe you already are with your restaurant, but bringing your hotel into the fold. And our website is already even updated. Wow, I apologize this morning. Our website's already updated to offer really, there's two ways. There's a single property application where you can pay now, but then there's also an application process where you can fill out all your information, and Liz is going to work and our team is going to work to figure out what that dues model looks like. And like I said before, we are willing to work with all of our members and future members to make sure that this works for you, and getting it to a point where you are hopefully a long-standing member of the CRHA moving forward. So that is really my update on membership. Liz, I don't know if I missed anything. I know you've been working really hard on this, but let me know if did I miss anything.
No, I think you did a great job. And again, just reiterating that, we built the support and the benefits tailored to restaurants. And along the way, we've had accommodation space in our membership and engaged with us. But, we want to hear from you, and we want to hear, what you need more of, and where you need more support. As the membership manager, it's my job, and it's an honor to be able to help and provide support and service, in addition to what you do for your guests every day. So, I hope that you'll take a look through our website at what we offer. Please reach out and let us know what you need more of. And if any questions come up, that's what we're here for, is to be here for you.
Another thing I would say I didn't mention before is if you've already paid dues within your restaurant already, Liz and I and Yvette and the team have talked about it, like, how we adjust it to add the hotel. That is something we can work with you on. So know that some of you guys have already paid under your restaurants that you have. But I'm excited to come out and talk to each of you guys about the value, making sure even today through all these slides and meeting our team, you see the value add of what it means to be a part of the CRHA. And most importantly, it is about you. The more members we have, the stronger our voice is, the more help you can provide, obviously on the legislative side, as we move forward. So that's the update I have on membership. And then realistically, the last thing I have is just a date. Our next event, and you're going to see this moving forward, a lot of events. We talked about this at the beginning. The value of the association is also the events we run because of the networking opportunities, a chance to meet your peers and grow your own business within that. So our next event is going to be here in 2 weeks. As I look at a calendar and I'm like, wow, 14 days. We're going to be in Fairfield at the Barcelona Wine Bar, which is part of the Hi Ho Hotel. We're going to have from 4 to 6. If you're in that area, It's free to register to come. We're expecting a lot of operators to come in, and just a chance to kind of hear from us, but also meet many others within the industry, on both industries, which I'm excited about. So that'll be March 23rd from 4 to 6 at Barcelona Wine Bar in Fairfield, Connecticut. All right, I'll go to this slide, but I'll go to questions so people can have emails from everybody. And I know you see the last thing I'd mentioned, I didn't bring it up before. The logo at the top left, that is our original logo. You see evolving to become the Connecticut Restaurant and Hospitality Association. Even our emails are ctrestaurant.org. We are working through all that on our rebrand. We're working with Box 8 in New Haven, as well as Anthony at Brian Durand. And we're hoping over the next 3 months to have a whole new look and feel that represent the entire industry as a whole in hospitality. So we're excited about that. But obviously, I know some of you guys are like, the logo and your email, but all of those things we are working through, and we're going to have another opportunity to promote that and really showcase who we are over the next couple months. So I will open this up. I can't see the chat, Yvette, so I don't know if anyone asked a question in the chat, but I'll open it up to if anyone wants to say hello this morning, ask any questions. But we got about 7 minutes to 10 minutes, so any questions from the group? Danny, go ahead.
Congratulations on what you've built. You have a beautiful team, a lot of work, a lot being represented. I'm the new guy. I've recently taken over creative direction and member experience at the Hartford Club. So no direct asks, just learning and seeing how we can connect and be a part of what Connecticut represents. So thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming on, Danny. I appreciate it. Others? Don't be shy this morning on a Monday morning. If you guys know me, I will call you out. Amanda, I know you might be with the baby, as you guys don't know, but so you guys know, I didn't get a chance to say this before, but I'm really excited. I see Dan on here and Amanda and some of our other Wayne, some of our newest board members, Henry. Anything from the board side, and so any of you guys want to chime in, please do.
Yeah, sorry, I have a sick baby with me at home today, so I apologize for any background noise. But I've been a member of the CRA now for many, many years, and I've seen the incredible work that Scott and the team have done and accomplished for the state's restaurant industry. And hearing that we were expanding to include hotels and hospitality under that umbrella, I mean, it just seemed like a no-brainer. And to see that passion and the energy and just kind of the knowledge of hospitality be brought to hotels, I think is going to be so wonderful for our restaurant, for the hotels, just as it was for the restaurant industry. So I'm very excited to be not only a board member, but to bring our hotel under the umbrella of the CRHA, and I hope everybody else will consider joining as well.
Thanks, Amanda. Dan, morning. I hope the college visit went well.
Yeah, good morning, Scott. Thank you. I apologize. We had the ProStart event here, and for those of you that don't know, Scott's referencing, I had to make a college visit, as Scott can attest to, with college athletics, and I have a young son who's trying to play football as Scott did at the college level. So unfortunately, I had to be out of town here at Mohegan Sun when we had the event last week. Heard it went well, so very happy to hear that. Yes, I'm just very excited to be part of this board. I think the board is eager and trying to get started and do some great things to include not just the food and beverage aspect of the association, but now with hotels. My role here at Mohegan Sun is to basically oversee all of our non-gaming operations. So, like Scott said, with the jobs, and for me, it's roughly 2,500 people here at Mohegan Sun that don't work in the gaming; they work in the non-gaming, and that's our group clients that are coming in, a convention, expo, and the food and beverage make up a great deal of that non-gaming. So I'm excited to see where we can work towards getting more dollars from the state to go into our hospitality and tourism end of things here for the state of Connecticut, because I think it will help all of us, not just Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun, but really put Connecticut more on the map as a destination and stay in one of our fine hotels or inns or bed and breakfast throughout the state. So looking to work on everyone's behalf as part of the board member, as part of being the board on the board, and look forward to hopefully collaborating more closely with all of you on the call.
Thank you, Dan. Wayne, are you there this morning? I know you sometimes are traveling back and forth from Florida, but wanted to see
Good
if
morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, good morning. Yes, I'm here. I did fly back in last night, got home at about 1 a.m., but I'm here. Yeah, so just, to kind of echo some of what has been said already, I've only been in Connecticut about 6 months, but I was very involved with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association for the past several years. I was a chapter president for the Northeast Florida chapter, and I served on the state board. And I think, as Scott kind of alluded to in his opening remarks, there's so much overlap between restaurants and hospitality or lodging, however you want to call it. And it really does make sense, I think, for the association to be unified and to represent our entire industry. And then the other thing that I feel like I get the most out of with being involved in this association, as it was in Florida as well, is the professional networking and just having a resource to call when you have a question about something, or maybe, there's something has popped up in your business and you're like, I wonder how this other resort or hotel may handle this situation. And so people that you can call and reach out to and share best practices and just bounce ideas off of one another. So the professional networking, I think, is a huge aspect of it. And then yeah, I had another thought, but it flew out of my head, so sorry.
No, it's okay, Wayne. As you know, Wayne was heavily involved in Florida, obviously running the Omni in New Haven now, but and part of the merger of the growth of the Northeast side of chapter of Florida. So very fortunate to have him on the board and also giving his insight of what's going on down there and where the benefits were as hotel operators that we want to look to try to add here. Last board member that's on, I'm going to call out is Henry. I know probably the busiest man with Great Wolf Lodge at this time of year, with the weather starting to turn, but being so cold, everyone wants to be inside in the water park. But Henry, how's everything going? Anything you want to say this morning?
Things are good here in Great Wolf. We are in a spring break season, so we got all the private schools going on right now, and pretty much sold out to the end of April. But I must say, I'm probably one of the newer kids in the block. We haven't been open a year. We're new to Connecticut. And it's been a pleasure from day one meeting Scott and his entire team. I remember when they came and visited me last summer when we were just barely open, and they really took the time and energy to learn about our business, learn about challenges of opening. And we've enjoyed every conversation we've had since then. Very happy to be part of the board and to back up what Wayne is saying. I've learned so much about other areas of the state, other peers in my industry in just a short time we've been members. So really looking forward to where this organization's going, and really look forward to meeting all of you in person and working with the board moving forward.
Thank you, Henry.
Hey, Scott.
All right, so yes,
Scott, this is
Mr.
John
Mathers.
Madison Beach Hotel. Congratulations on the growth and development of the association. It's been great to watch. I have Lou Carrier with me this morning, and he'd like to say a couple words.
Yes, I was looking for Lou, and I know I forgot him earlier, so he's probably going to give me a hard time.
Yeah, he's traveling, but he's on my cell phone in my office, so we're trying to match it.
Fortunately, I couldn't immediately log into the call for some reason. I don't know, and I started early. But listen, this is a momentous inflection point in the state's hospitality outlook, and Scott, I very thankful for you to the lead on this with your team, because I do think that there are a lot of very, very smart minds in the hospitality and the hotel side of the equation that are going to be instrumental. And part of what we're committed to do is to broaden and to bring in as many people on the lodging side of the equation as possible. For those of us who do business and, whether or not managing or, personal investment dollars in Connecticut hospitality, the hotel, the lodging side has been grotesquely underserved for a long time. So the timing, I think, is really great. You brought up a number of issues that you're working on right now that are obviously connected to both the lodging side of the equation and restaurants. So I think it will be again, it's going to be our goal to go out and bring in as many people on the lodging side of the equation. You've done an amazing job growing the restaurant component of the association over the years, are really meteoric. I don't know that, and I sort of poked around, I don't know that anybody's been able to see that kind of rise and participation in such a short period of time. There aren't as many hotels out there, but from a percentage standpoint, I think we'll get some boots on the ground and circle the wagons on this issue, because I think the more participation that we get, the more active participation and advocacy that we get on the lodging side of the equation, it's just going to bolster the voice and the size of your megaphone and that of all of our interests. So very excited about the months and the years to come, and congratulate you on this historic mission that you're on.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, John. I know I saw Johan on here as well, to your guys' team. But like I said, I really wanted some of the board members to chime in because they've been instrumental in really crafting this of where we're going. I guess I'm going to end with that. I hope everyone looks at and wants to talk to us about what membership could look like for you. But again, there's other organizations out there that you can join. And there's your chamber, tourism cola there, and I welcome you if you see value in that. But I hope our goal today was to show you our value, was to show you what I think we can help you as your own business, as an operator, helping you grow your team, and also protect your business as well. That was really the purpose of today's call with our team here. As you guys see, they're working tirelessly every single day on your behalf, whether you're a member or not. I think that's the other piece to it as well. A lot of our restaurants say to us, "Well, you're going to do it anyway," but at the end of the day, we're not allowed to do what we do without the members that we have and people supporting us to be able to grow this. So if anyone else, I know it's 10:05, so I went over. I feel bad because I know as hotel operators, you guys are timely, punctual, so I don't want to go any longer. But is there anything else anyone wants? Any other questions? I don't see in the chat. Nope, people are just hopping off. But please reach out to me, reach out to our team. If you have individual questions, I promise you we'll be reaching out to you. If you need anything currently, there's, many other things on the horizon, but like I said, I'll be in DC for a couple days. I'll be back. I hope a lot of you could maybe make the March 23rd event. There will be other events to come up soon. We were actually looking, that's our Q1 board meeting. For our Q2 board meeting, we're actually looking, at June 1st or 2nd, but we're looking at a hotel property to potentially do an event with hotel operators. Obviously we're at the Hi Ho Hotel in Barcelona for our first, but looking at Q2, we're going to be at a catering venue for Q3 when we announce our Crazies nominees, and then obviously Q4 every year our annual meeting is at Foxwoods the day before our Crazies, which is set. The Crazies is set for December 7th this year, and I won't freak the team out. Maybe we'll stay at 1600, and maybe we continue to expand. We'll see. But at the same time, I really appreciate all you guys giving the time that you have. Yvette, did I miss anything else? I always give you the last word.
Nope, we're good, Scott. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Great to see everybody here. Steve, good to see your face. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, we will be in touch, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Have a great week.
Thanks. Good luck in DC.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.